It's always something. Look what happens when I... Now, I don't know if it happens with just my driver or... I'm going to key up the driver. Worldwide. Now it's holding up. When I key up the AC, it loses watts. I don't know. I don't know if I got a bad battery, bad cable. I don't know. But I lose my volts drop. Somebody's calling me. Alright, I've been having all kinds of technical difficulties with my truck ever since basically I had ice on my antenna mount. Let me flip this around and try and give you an idea of what happened. A lesson to be learned too. This never happened to me before. But it was New Year's Day and I was out talking Skip, and this truck was hot because I was out dropping the AC and it was hot. And the snow, it was snowing. The snow actually melted on here, but it was so cold by the time I drove home, which I didn't see, it had melted and caused a layer of ice from this mount all the way over this insulator, all the way onto the body. Okay? So basically connecting my positive to the ground. Dead short. Okay, this was on both mounts. And of course, I did not discover this till after 3 radios. Not 2, 3. 3 radios and 2 drivers. and I changed every jumper in the truck. Now, let me show you my jumpers. Not just the jumpers. This is my heavy duty, what is it, 218 coax, okay? Pretty sure it's shot. Okay, it was brand new too, $225. Goes back to the AC box. Back here, okay? It's usually plugged in right there, but I had to switch it to try a regular, what is it, 213, okay? That's going to my antenna right now. See up in here, it goes up in there to the, okay? And then I got a jumper from this box over to the AC box. And I got one from here, runs up to the front to the radio. All right, so you got 2 jumpers and a coax to the antenna. I changed all those. Let me switch it in the truck. Why is my finger over the, how's that work? Anyway, yeah, so I changed all the jumpers. I blew up, it's so weird when you record yourself like this, your eyeballs look off to the right when you're looking at the phone. I don't understand that. It's like I have to look to the left and then it looks like I'm looking straight. I don't know, I just work here. Anyway, so I changed, you know, while that was happening, before I realized there was ice shorting out my antennas, okay, when I bumped down the AC and I was running like 6,000 watts. I mean, it just fried everything. I mean, just, I'm gonna link to this video, the video of the smoking radio, which you've already seen. Smoked to 29, ruined my Galaxy. But I didn't just keep putting stuff in and just keep trying it. I kept changing coaxes and stuff, you know. It was freezing out, so I never went on the top of the truck. I was being lazy, okay? I never would have imagined, I never would have dreamed. We joke about ice and water on our antennas, and we usually just like start with our drivers and actually warm up our antennas and literally dry them up, okay? And we've joked about it for years and years. I've never had ice form on my antenna from the mount all the way to the body and actually cause a short. We joked about it, you know, and yeah, you probably got ice, you know. I never even looked because I've never seen it happen, and I've been doing this stuff since the 80s, and I've only run mobiles. I've never had a house, so it's just bizarre to me. But anyway, so then I would like change you know, I'd change all my jumpers and try it again, and I'd blow my driver. So I, you know, I never would have thought this brand new $225 coax I had going in the antenna would short out that easy. There's no visible damage. The ends are not burnt. I don't understand why it doesn't work. I mean, it kind of works until I start doing like watts, you know, till I start doing like over, you know, 3,000-4,000. Then it starts like shorting out or something, because it's bouncing all over the place. So anyway, today I'm gonna take you along for the ride, because I got a new issue. Aside from all that, okay, I got this temporary jumper in there and all that. I changed all my jumpers. I got the temporary coax in there to the antenna. But now the latest thing is I go to talk on the AC and I start losing watts, and I look over to my voltage meter, voltmeter, and it's dropping way down. So, and this is the weirdest thing, okay? I've been telling 22 here for like a week or two, when I'm talking in here, it's gonna sound crazy, but it smells like syrup. Like pancakes and syrup, however you say it. And he reminded me, he goes, well, batteries can have a smell to them when they're bad, you know, when they go bad and you're pumping 15 volts in them, they can smell, you know. So I'm assuming I have a bad battery. That's why, because when I'm running the AC, okay, I have one Mechman 320 on my stock system, which I have my driver hooked up to. Let me turn this around. What does that mean? I have the power unplugged. Look how bad it fried this radio. I think it's actually on fire inside. It's not stopping. I think my radio's actually on fire inside. I have no power going to it. Maybe it's coming through the coax. Maybe we gotta disconnect the coax. I don't know. Do you see smoke? Mercy. Okay, there's my driver. It's an 8-pill driver. Okay, so I run that driver off my stock system with the 320 Mechman. I've got one battery under the hood, and then I've got 2 batteries in this box underneath the 8-pill. Okay, that's what we're gonna dig into today and check all the cables and check the batteries. But when I'm running the AC, okay, that also, this inverter right here is hooked to the DC as well. I have a battery in that box as well. So I have a total of 4 batteries hooked to the Mechman. You know, basically 2 of them for this driver, 1 of them for that. The AC box actually has some DEC in it. It has DC regulator, or what do you call them? Relays in them and stuff. Very, very minimal. That thing there takes about 30 amps. You know, what does the car take? I don't know, if I'm running the heater or whatever. You know, who knows? Another 50 amps total to run the car or whatever. Anyway, I got 320 amps, so it's plenty. And I would think if it's the alternator, the volts would drop and never come back. They kind of come and go. They work most of the time. They only go away when I'm talking skip. It's the weirdest thing. So we're going to check out my batteries and my cables today, see if we can find out where that smell is coming from. Okay, I pulled the driver off, disconnected it, moved it up over there. All right. We got to get into this box and see what's going on in there. Let me give you another view so you guys can try to figure out what we're looking at. This is from the back door looking in. All right, I just moved the driver over here, stuck it on top of the AC box. This is the box that has, this box here has, see, that's my high voltage meter. Inside there are rectifiers, my power supplies, one battery, there's a solenoid in there, a couple little fans on the side of that box to move some air through, and that's about it. I got the inverter here, cables run down and hooked to that battery. But behind that is my original box I built when I was running the 16 pill. It's got 2 batteries in it, and then I just put the 16 and the 5 pill on top of there, and that's all I had in here. I added this box in when I put the AC in. So we're gonna open that box back there because I haven't been in that thing in probably a year. So you never know what we're gonna find in there. Okay, cover's off. I got good news. Oh, I got 3 batteries now. It's been so long I forgot. 3 of those good red tops they call them. I don't even know if you can get them anymore. 16, so yeah, they're dated 9/16. Bought them all at the same time. But the good news is there's no visible, I don't see anything. Nothing, you know, like melting or, what's that? It's like a piece of solder on there. Yeah, that's what it is. Piece of solder dripped on there when we were soldering something at some point. But it's just on the top, it's not melted through it. Anyway, I don't see any visible evidence of any damage. I don't see any problems at all. No melted wires. This just goes to the radio, believe it or not, up in the front. The cables all look good. Oh, that's a little loose. I don't like that. See that? That's bad. How about this one? That one's tight. That one's tight. That one's good. That was loose a little bit. I wonder if that's, could that be doing it? That little bit? Is it possible? I mean, I don't know if I got to start it and run it and see if one of these batteries is heating up or what, because I don't see anything. I don't smell anything in here. Cables all look good. I'm baffled. But this is a little loose here, see? Like that, and then it wiggles like that. I don't know if that would do it. What was happening, it was like I was talking, once I turned on the AC, I'd be talking and looking at my voltmeter on my stock system, it'd be at like 14.5. And then I'd be watching my bird meter doing like 5,000 watts, and all of a sudden my watts would start dropping, it would start swinging forward, which I learned from experience. I don't want my AC to swing forward because my diode boards in there could start on fire. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience. So when you're hammering on it and it doesn't like to swing because it's putting too many volts and not going out type thing, you know. So it made me very nervous. So I finally put my eyes over to the voltmeter and noticed the volts were dropping way down, like 10, 11, 12 volts, somewhere in there, while I was talking on the AC, which means the driver was keyed up. You know, I was doing about 800 watts on the driver. The inverter was on, and you know, and that's the only time it does it. Doesn't do it when I'm just on the driver. Doesn't do it when I'm driving around. Could this have caused all my problems? Well, I'm going to tighten it up and we're going to find out. I guess we'll start it and see if anything heats up. All right, I got the truck running. See the voltmeter there? It's at like 15 volts. 14.5, 15. That's how it runs all the time. Except for when I go to talk skip, and then it just drops down. I mean, like way down. So with the truck running, I'm just feeling these batteries. See if any of these batteries are getting hot. As of right now, they're ice cold. Because the truck was parked outside, so everything was cold, but I don't smell anything. I would get the meter out, but you know, you have to disconnect every battery, check them individually. And I just tightened everything up. There I go, being lazy again. It just doesn't seem like this is the source of the problem. I was expecting to find like a wire melting or something, you know what I mean? Touching where it shouldn't be touching or something. But it's looks the same in here as the day I put it together. I don't know. I don't know how long you gotta let it run before they would start to warm up. I'm feeling down in between there to feel those cells and they're ice cold. What is the problem? Could it literally have been because that terminal was a little loose? Could that actually? I mean, it's not like I was moving when it was happening. I was just sitting there rubbing it, you know, talking skip. Still charging good right now. Okay. Put the lid back on, put the driver back in place, hooked it all up. Oh, I gotta hook up the remote. Forgot to hook up. Oh, where is it? Where is it? There it is. We like remotes. So we don't have to climb in the back one more. Okay. Let's go over there and open that box and check that out, just to make sure. Okay. I got her opened up. Now, just so you know, this is high voltage death area. Okay, that's why I got this meter on here showing 0, okay, because the truck is off. Even at idle with when the alternator is not ignited, it will show some voltage. And so we have this right here. That's a bleeder. Okay, that bleeds the high voltage off. So, you know, it's pretty safe in here right now because all the voltage has been bled off. The truck's not running. So we still keep our hands away from this area, but we're looking at this area. So everything's tight. Everything's tight. Nothing's melting. All the cables are in the same condition as the day I put them in there. I for the life of me cannot figure out what I smell when I'm running this thing. So everything looks good in here. If you look at that right there, remember I was telling you I've had experience with rectifier starting on fire? Right there, that thing was actually, I opened this, well, I didn't open the box, it was screwed shut. And we saw, my brother saw, it was nighttime and he saw a light behind this meter, and he steps back and he goes, I think there's a fire in there. Oh God. So yeah, we opened it up and then that was just burning like a candle. It was just burning. What happened was that, you know, we blew a couple diodes and they got overvolted because I was flooring it and the bolts were not going out. They weren't going out, they're backing up. So that's what happened. You know, these boxes aren't really made to swing forward like a DC box, you know. And I had too much swing. It's kind of tricky to get this to run right. You know, I've got these awesome radios that 711 built us, and they swing like crazy, but they don't really work too good with the AC, you know, because the AC doesn't want that much swing. But anyway, that's another story for another day. Let's close this up and go try this, see if it does it. And if it does, I'm gonna try and catch it on camera for you because it's hard, because when I'm keying up the AC, I have a trigger that I'm holding. So I got the mic in one hand and the trigger in the other hand. It's gonna be kind of hard. I'm gonna have to try and set up the camera like on the steering wheel or something so you can see the voltmeter, but we'll figure it out. But let's go try it. All right, I drove out to a spot. I'm running my 5.5s, okay? All right, I got you on the mount. See, I gotta squeeze this for the AC and this for the radio. I'm gonna turn on the driver. We'll just try the driver and see what we got. Driver. Move this. Get that out the way. Don't need this yet. Let's see what the driver's keying up. Driver's not keying up. Be right back. All right, let's try this again. As I don't know how good you're gonna be able to see this time around. The remote doesn't always work. I had to go jiggle it. Worldwide. Yeah. Check. A lot of reflect. Why is the reflect so high? What the heck? How do things change? I got 200 watts reflect. At 1,000. What the heck? Maybe this is 5.5. I don't know. I'm just leaving the camera on because I want you to see the crap that I go through. That's why I hate winter too. I hate doing this stuff. It's like 8 degrees with the wind chill right now, okay? And Skip's starting to roll too. 200 watts reflect. What am I gonna do with that? Where's all my condition? See, he's making a weird noise too. Hello, around DX Land, 28 Mobile, Chicago. Break. Swings.
Hey, wagon wheels, man, I just say you all up in the garage while you blowing the horn, while you out there at that 8 Mobile. Hey, wagon wheels, man, just getting on down.
Oh. So far, I don't know if you can hear me, there's so much noise in here now. I hate the way this thing vibrates too. Is this thing even recording? I don't even know. So far the bolts have not gone down. I'm gonna try the AC now and see what happens. There they go. There go the bolts right there. 48 gone down. Alright, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Somehow I have to squeeze this mic and hit that trigger. Let me see if I can set this camera up somehow. Okay, I think I got it now. I'm just gonna squeeze these triggers. If I can find the trigger. Okay, here we go. Gonna squeeze the trigger. That. One. Worldwide 28. Can anybody hear me singing my song? Here comes my bolts. They're dropping like a fly. I can't explain it. 28 goes. And, believe it or not, I smell syrup again. I don't get it. Now watch what happens. My volts dropped down on the 14. Why? We're on the same pile, 28 Mobile, Chicago, that pile. It's a rainy condition. No condition around the pile, 28 Chicago. What's it mean?
The power level just a little bit. Brad Jack, I'll see you.
Why? That driver's gonna wait too much. I'm gonna blow my driver. Yeah. I got a key about 800. This radio swings up too much. But it holds volts all day long with the driver. The volts are not dropping. As soon as I run the AC. Can somebody explain that to me, Brink?
Yeah, Bill. The wrong wind keep coming through him, blowing these little drill guns out of calibration.
More wide. Yeah, I'm flabbergasted. The bolts stay up. I can talk on the driver all day long. They don't drop. As soon as I key up the AC, it drops. Never did that before. So it's got me thinking maybe that battery in the back that runs the inverter is shot. So we're gonna go back to the shop. We're gonna disconnect that battery and we're gonna test it. I don't know what else to do. I don't know why I would lose all my volts as soon as I start running the AC. And why does it smell like syrup? I don't understand this. I just want to talk, Skip. That's all. It's like 8 degrees out here. Crap. Alright, back to the garage. Alright, as I was driving back to the shop, I was kind of thinking, like, could the belt be slipping? And you know, that smell that I'm talking about, I smell it outside the truck. It might be like antifreeze. I mean, this truck's got 225,000 miles on it. And, you know, I overheat it like regularly, you know, in the summer, running the AC, hammering on it and stuff. But could the belt just be slipping, you know what I'm saying? Because, oh, it's pretty tight, but yeah, it smells in here too. I wonder if it's got some kind of a little leak or something. I don't know. I smell like, you know how antifreeze can smell like real sweet sometimes? When it's got just a real small leak, like a mist. So it does have that. So that could possibly be what I'm smelling. I don't know, but we're gonna go check that back battery, and we're gonna check this belt. The belt squeaks like crazy, but I have a feeling it's the, you know, it's been squeaking like forever, and I think it's this dumb AC compressor. I mean, I can't. The belt's in pretty bad shape because it rubs and stuff, but maybe because of the cold and stuff. Maybe that belt's just slipping because when I put a load under it, you know, I'm running the driver and then the inverter and all that. Maybe it slips. I don't know. It doesn't squeal like. But let's go check that battery and we'll go from there. Okay. I disconnected this battery in the back. I'm in the back of the truck. Okay. This battery back here is what basically runs the inverter, although it is tied into, you know, the other 3 batteries that are in the other box and the battery that's under the hood. But usually, I mean, I think if a battery is bad, you disconnect it from other batteries. You check it, it should be low, you know, like 11, 10 volts, whatever. The battery's not hot, it's not bubbled, there's no smell in here. And so I stick this terminal on. I got this one, I got the ground in there, and I got the positive right there. And this is what we're seeing. Looks like a good solid disconnect. See, touch it on there. That's a good, it's so hard to read this meter. I mean, that center line right there, I believe is 15. So that's 10 volts, 15 volts, 20 volts. So when I touch this on there, looks like it's a good 12.5, 13 volts. So I would say that that battery's good. Let's go check the one under the hood. Okay, this is under the hood. Basically, I have 2 grounds. This is like the original stock that went to a side post. And this is a second ground I added. And then this is the, these two are the stock original. Yeah, the stock original positives that went to a side post. You know, I just cut the boot off of this. This was a side post mount. But none of these wires are melted. Everything's good. Nothing's touching or grounding out. They're tight. And then I have a separate power cable hooked to the back of the alternator, which goes to the back, to those batteries you saw in the back. So there's that ground, bolted right to the front of the alternator there. So just a little extra ground on there. All right, I'm gonna disconnect this and test this battery. Cause this battery might be old, I don't know. Might have came with the truck and I've had it for about 5 years, I don't know. I don't remember. Let's check it out. Okay, disconnected the positive. Again, I gotta look at the underneath. Cables are all perfectly fine. No melting or anything, no shorting. Got the negative shoved in there. Yep, same as the other one. Like 12.5, 13, whatever. Again, this battery is not hot. I just came back from a ride. It's not bubbling. It's not. Doesn't smell. I have to assume it's good. I think I'm gonna have to assume the belt is slipping. I don't know what else to think at this point. So I don't. And to change that belt, of course, I got to take the AC belt off for the you know, the big. I got to take the other. Get some light over here for you. This is a big old double stator Niehoff. You see that? Okay. Big old double stator Niehoff I got shoved in there. That's what runs the AC. And the belt is in front of the stock one, so I got to take that off, which is really, really tight. Took me and 22 to get on there. I'm afraid if I take it off, I'm not gonna be able to get it back on myself. But I got to take that off to get to the stock one. You can see the stock one's frayed in the back there. Maybe it's just slipping. I don't know. Maybe this compressor's locking up because it's been making noise for months. Maybe it's just slipping. I don't know. I'll be back. Okay, I got both belts off. Taking them off's easy. It's putting them back on. Look at that. All that. See all that black stuff? That's the belt. Black belt residue right there. See all that? Well, the way I put this alternator on, see this plate here? I bolted that onto the front of the motor. I didn't use a rack, okay? Because I was only adding one alternator, so I didn't need a rack. So I basically made this plate and bolted it onto the front of the block right there. And so what happened is the thickness of this metal is kind of in the way for the stock belt, so it kind of rubs on it. And that's why it squeaks and stuff. But I don't care, because I got to drop them all. Anyway, I just so happen to have, here's the old one. The old belt, the stock belt, see it's kind of cut up on the edge because that's the edge that rides. It was kind of sticky when I went to pull it off, which tells me maybe it was slipping, you know, because it was like rubbery. It's pretty wore out. I kind of tried to measure it. It seemed to be like a 98 inch, and I, believe it or not, actually happen to have a brand new one. I got a lot of extra parts, you know. So I'm gonna try and put this on, see what happens. I don't know. I have a hunch. That's what it's acting like. When it gets under a load, it just, the belt slips and then I'm running right off the batteries. So the bolts shoot down from 14 to 12, which throws everything off. Now my driver puts out less, now my AC puts out less, and it's just no good. And that's how you blow stuff up. I think I blew up my driver one time because of that. I didn't know the volts were dropping, and I kept turning up the drive because my watts are dropping, and then I overpowered the driver and blew it up. Because my 8-pill driver has a 1-pill in it. It's a 1-pill driving 2-pill driving 8. So if you hit that 1-pill too hard, you just blow it up. And I did. I blew up my driver one time, so in that box. So let's see if we can get this belt on there and see what happens. Okay. I had to go buy a new belt, of course. The one that I had was too small. And I had to reconfigure everything. Had to change that pulley. I changed that pulley, made it a smaller one. And the belt I got was the only belt they had in this side, and it's just touching right there. Goes straight down. Let's see. But I already checked it with it running and everything. It moves slightly away when it's running. It's not burning or smoking. But anyway, the place where I got the belt didn't have the next size up. So I'm actually gonna try it like this. But we got the AC belt on. We got the new belt on, reconfigured. Very, very tight now. I don't know if you remember, but this tensioner was way out here before. That's how big and loose the belt was. Now it's straight down, so it's putting a lot of tension on there. As soon as I start it and it gets a little tension, it actually moves away from there a hair. And then when you rev it, it actually moves away a little bit more because that tensioner, as the belt kind of stretches it, it pulls it out. So it's actually not rubbing on there when it's running, but obviously I can't leave that like that. But I'm gonna leave it like that for tonight so we can go test this thing and see if the bolts stay up. So that's what we're gonna do now. I'm gonna clean up a little bit and we'll go try it. All fixed. Hey 29, where'd you go? Hey 29, 28 Mobile, Chicago, waving great.
Super Bowl, Funky Station, New Jersey. Would you like to talk in the home of Parliament, Funkadelic? Hey, Funky Station, New Jersey, in the home of Parliament, Funkadelic. Can you hear me, baby?
Hey, Funky Station, I got you. No pain, no strain, Funky Station. Happy New Year to you. 28 Mobile, Chicago, waving great.
On that copy, you little bit, Bob. I'm going back to the football game. You got down in the home of Parliament, Funkadelic, Boosie Rubber Band on that copy. I have the man to make your pump the P-Pop. Hello, 28 Super Bowl, Funky Station, New Jersey, P-Pop. 5 Now, thank you.
Bye, Funky Station. Appreciate the wave, my friend. Good to get a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna stick this thing up on this. I'm gonna try and show you guys the bolts, but I'm gonna bump down the AC right now, okay? I'm gonna set this up so you can see the bolts, but the belt fixed the problem. Let me see if I can do this for you. Worldwide 28 Mobile, Worldwide 28 Mobile, Chicago, rocking the mail. There. I did that to show you guys the bolts, and 1,700 people called me.
Freight train, 222, 434 New Jersey.
Here comes 28 Mobile again. I heard somebody calling 28. I know there's some big strappers out there, but I got this Mobile smack dab in the middle of the road. 28 Mobile, Chicago on the mail.
Off down that copy, come in. You had to wait on your mother nature. You had to wait on your mother nature.
I can't make out nothing, man. It sounds like a bunch of bees out here. It sounds like a bunch of bees in my receiver. Hello on the northeast corner, one more time. 28 Mobile, Chicago, got down.
Boy, got real rough at the home of Parliament. it got rough that time, y'all. Super Bowl Funky Station, the big man in the home of Parliament, Funkadelic, just getting down.
I heard somebody calling 28, man, but that funky station's kind of on top of the heap. I heard funky station. I heard someone trying to get a hold of 28, but that funky station's got my ears been back. Hello once again around the northeast side. 28, 28, Mobile, Chicago. Got down. I'ma get funky with you. Hey, 5-5 Super Bowl Funky Station, New Jersey. I'll get funky with you. Come on. 28, swinging down around these apple trees with the hot I heard someone in the big apple trees, man. I heard them calling 28, man, but I can't make it out. It's a bunch of weeds around the cedar. Sound like a bunch of ash and trash. That funky station's kind of coming on top, but I heard somebody calling 28. I heard you say you're in the big apple. 28 won't be in Chicago on the radio.
Radio 5-5. Hey, 5-5 Super Bowl Funky Station, New Jersey. I like your Super Bowl. AKA Freight Train. Hey, put on you later. Force back out.
I couldn't make it out. I couldn't make it out. Somebody was calling 28, man, but I couldn't make it out. I'm going to take a scoot back a little bit, see what the world's going on. 28 Mobile, Chicago. Funky
Station, New Jersey, 5-5 in the cornfields, Indiana. Funky Station, New Jersey, let's go.
My wife got me a microphone. This goes into the phone and a tripod for Christmas. So I'm going to try to use that right now for this last segment. It also has a little remote so I can turn it on and off without having to reach forward or whatever. So I'm going to figure out how to do this for the last part of this video. All right, just to recap, the problem was the belt. Another lesson to be learned. It didn't squeal like it was slipping, but I think it was contributing to that smell I was getting. Because it was burning, but it was slipping silently. So it was like burning rubber mixed in with my little bit of antifreeze problem I think I still have. So the smell's gone, essentially. I smell a little bit of antifreeze still, but that other weird smell, that's gone. So it was definitely the belt. So that fixed the problem. And I took a chance and hooked up my original coax, that 218, that heavy duty expensive coax, $225 for that thing. I hooked it back up and it worked. So I'm very glad about that. So I'm 10.8. The noise under the hood, the squeaking that I've had for months, was the original pulley. I changed that. Squeaking went away. It's nice and quiet under there now. So, hopefully you guys could learn from my mistakes. Some of my mistakes. I hope this video was, somewhat educational and entertaining. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time in a world of sound. 28 gone.